We are back on Get Up, and while I was on vacation, a whole bunch of stuff happened with Team USA basketball, and we got to catch up on it. First, let's show you, they played Australia yesterday in an Olympic warm-up, and let's show you a couple of moments from this. That's Anthony Edwards knocking down a three, and then he's finding his buddy Jason Tatum there, the Team USA with a 16-point halftime lead. The lead is over 20 points in the third quarter. That's Anthony Davis. He had 17 points, 14 rebounds. Looks like the USA is going to run away and hide, but they did not. We're 5 minutes to go in the fourth. Off a turnover, this is Matthew Dellavedova to Dyson Daniels. It's a 6-point game. 4 minutes left. It's still a 6-point game. Where are we going for a bucket? Drew Holiday to Tyrese Halliburton. That makes it a 9-point lead. And then with 2.5 to go, it's Halliburton again. So Team USA does go on to win it 98-92, but it was by no means easy. And so let me go live to Abu Dhabi, which is something I haven't said many times in my life. Oh, Brian Windhorst is over here. You're so far away in Abu Dhabi. I was actually looking in the wrong direction. And what have I been told? I see what you are wearing today. You are always so nattily attired when you are good enough to get up with us on our program. A little birdie whispered in my ear why it is you don't have the jacket and tie today.
I last saw my luggage last Thursday. It's now Tuesday evening. I ain't got it. What you're seeing here was purchased on Amazon in Abu Dhabi here, and who knows, you may be seeing these types of polos rotating for the next 3 weeks through the Olympics, Greeny.
So we don't expect to get it back? Have we been given no word by the airline that they have some hope here?
It's been 5 days. Why not 10? How about 20?
Okay. Well, we're all rooting for you, but although I think you look very nice and very comfortable, and it's got to be 100 degrees where you are, so that's probably not bad. Okay, there's two things going on with this team that I need to have explained to me. The first of them is that Kawhi Leonard gets sent home, and Lawrence Frank, who runs the Clippers there, the original idea was that this was sort of a mutual decision, but Lawrence Frank made it sound yesterday like that was not the case at all. Here's what he said.
It was USAB's call, and I was, quite frankly, very disappointed with the decision. Kawhi wanted to play. We wanted him to play. You know, I expressed to them, I really wish that they would have given Kawhi more time. He looked good to me. I know all the sacrifices he made in order to make this commitment to the Olympics. So it was very disappointing.
So what do we make of that? What is going on behind the scenes here, Wendy?
Well, nobody wants to be the bad guy here. Clearly, the Clippers don't want to be the bad guy. And Grant Hill doesn't want Steve Kerr to be the bad guy. Grant Hill, the managing director of Team USA, he has stood up and said it was my call. We sent him home. They watched him practice for 3 days. They didn't think he could get into playing condition. And I know that the Clippers obviously are going to advocate for Kawhi, but let's keep in mind, Ty Lue is on the Team USA coaching staff. His coach is on the Team USA coaching staff. He watched him in those practices. And while it's Grant Hill's decision, certainly if there needed to be an advocate for Kawhi Leonard in Team USA, it would be Ty Lue. So he's protected, and they still let him go. Now, I do think it's fair to say that had Kevin Durant been healthy, it's possible they carry Kawhi Leonard over here to the Middle East and then to London later this week and see if he can play his way into shape. But Durant has yet to play. He's got a calf injury. It was Team USA's evaluation that Durant getting healthy and back to 100% was more feasible than Kawhi. And so if Durant wasn't hurt, maybe it's a different story. With Durant hurt, they had to make a decision. They made this one. Is it perfect? No. Is it nefarious? No.
I understand that part of it. There is the other part of it that I can hear a lot of fans saying, and I might be one of them, this guy never finishes a regular season or a postseason healthy. Why would you want him playing in the Olympics anyway? That's always been sort of part of the mindset here. But clearly he was full steam ahead, and they were full steam ahead if he could do it.
Yes, and the thing that kind of worried me is that even within 2 weeks of the training camp, Kawhi openly said his knee wasn't right, that he only started feeling better within 2 weeks. And, you know, Ty Lue knows Kawhi. Ty Lue is able to evaluate how long he can return from injury. He could provide that insight. And I think if this was a bit of a different timeline, that it would be a different answer here. But they really, with where their team is at, they really needed to know. When I say where they're at, they were leaving for Abu Dhabi. They were leaving for 29 or 30 consecutive days. They needed to know who they could count on. Their evaluation was that they weren't sure Kawhi was going to be able to play himself into shape in the limited games and the limited time. So, and we're away from the top training facilities. It's a great facility here in Abu Dhabi, but it is not a NBA level practice facility. So all of that factored in. Grant Hill said blame him. And that's what, Kawhi and the Clippers are going to have to do. But there was more facets to this decision. Okay,
fair enough. And then the other thing was that he leaves and he's replaced by Derek White and not Jaylen Brown. And here we go again with the Jaylen Brown disrespect and everything. And now Jaylen Brown is sort of insinuating, maybe more than insinuating, that he believes Nike had some say in this and all the rest of it. That this felt like a very unusual decision to me to put Derek White on this team ahead of Jaylen Brown. How do we explain it?
Yeah, I'm going to explain the way Team USA saw it. And again, it doesn't mean that they're right. It doesn't mean that there's not nuance. Have there been times in the past where there's been a roster decision made where the shoe brand was a factor? Yes, I absolutely believe so. Was that a factor here? I can't say, but there was many other things at play as well. One of the big things at play was that in these Olympics, in these 12 teams that are in these Olympics, they're generally two types of teams. Teams that are dominated by big men and teams that are dominated by guards. It's not like the NBA. It's not dominated by wing players. So if there was ever going to be a 13th player on this roster, Team USA needed it to be a guard defender. And arguably one of their most important players is Jrue Holiday because he's such a great defender at guard. It was one of the reasons why they were able to win the Olympics with Jrue Holiday in 21. So if they were going to look for a position to get back up in, it didn't need to be on the wing. It needed to be behind Jrue Holiday at guard defender. It's not an evaluation of who's the better player. It was an evaluation of who fits who their opponents are going to be. And again, that doesn't mean that it's infallible. It doesn't mean that Team USA didn't make a mistake. But their rationale, when you look at their opponents, you look at the style of play, does hold water. They could be ripped for it in 2-3 weeks, but I do understand why they went with Derek White, who is a perfect fit for this type of game.
NBA